In the name of God, I am Kaman Kashi, and I am here with the 8th section of the International Transport Training. Well, we have dedicated Part B to the definition of a bill of lading and the examination of its types. Stay with me. What is a bill of lading? A bill of lading is a document issued by a transportation company, which can be either a carrier or a forwarder. The issuance of this document essentially means that a specific cargo has been received by the transportation company at a specific location for delivery to a specific destination. In fact, you could say that a bill of lading is like a receipt given by the transportation company to the owner of the goods, confirming and certifying that I have received your goods to transport them to a specific destination. What information is contained in a bill of lading? In a bill of lading, all the essential terms of carriage and the specific freight payment details must be clearly mentioned. This means understanding precisely under what conditions the goods are to be transported, and importantly, under what conditions the freight is to be paid. Is it prepaid or postpaid? The full details of the sender must be mentioned, the full details of the receiver, the notify party, the full details of the loaded goods, including their number, type of packages, type of goods, gross and net weight, volume of the goods, place of loading, port of origin, port of destination, final place of discharge, the name and voyage number of the ship with which the goods have been loaded and are being transported, and the date of the ship's departure. All of these must be mentioned in detail within the bill of lading. And this information is the same in the bills of lading issued by the forwarder or the bill of lading issued by the shipping company or its agent, except for the sender and receiver information, which we have already mentioned and will explain more about in the next slide. In this section, we want to examine the types of bills of lading, which can be considered from two aspects. One is from the aspect of being negotiable or non-negotiable, which we have already discussed in the types of bills of lading. If our bill of lading is to order, the bill of lading is negotiable and can be transferred to another person, which is done by endorsing the bill of lading. This is called a negotiable bill of lading, and you can see an example of it in the middle picture. And if our bill of lading is non-negotiable, a specific consignee is mentioned in the consignee section, and this bill of lading cannot be transferred or assigned to another person. You can see an example of this on the right. Another classification we've included here is based on whether it's an MBL or an HBL. If the maritime bill of lading is issued by the carrier, meaning the shipping line or its agent, it's called an MBL or master bill of lading. And if it's issued by a freight forwarder company, it's called an HBL or house bill of lading. In both cases, 3 original copies, 3 duplicate copies, and if necessary, 1 certified copy are issued. Together, these copies are referred to as a full set of the bill of lading. The contents of an MBL and an HBL, as I've said before, are exactly the same. The details listed on them are identical. The only difference lies in the shipper, consignee, and destination agent sections, which we'll discuss in more detail in the next slide. What is the difference between MBL and HBL? In this section, we will briefly discuss this difference. And in the sea import and sea export sections, which we will cover more specialized in future trainings, we will examine this topic in much more detail. As you can see in this figure, a sample house bill of lading and a sample master bill of lading are provided. The bill of lading on the left is an HBL issued by a forwarder company, and the bill of lading on the right is a master or MBL issued by the Hapag-Lloyd shipping line, whose name you have all heard and certainly recognize. We come to the final and most important slide and the educational part of this section, which is about the main difference between MBL and HBL, which we have mentioned several times. We said that all the specifications in MBL and HBL are the same, except for the sender, receiver, and notify party, as well as the destination agent or receiving agent, which we want to discuss in full in this section. The first point we should consider is that both an MBL and an HBL are issued for a shipment when, in fact, in addition to the main carrier company, a forwarder is definitely involved. This means the owner of the goods has not directly contracted with the shipping company. For example, if a pistachio company, let's say Rafsanjan Pistachio, wants to transport goods, it hasn't come. Instead of contracting directly with a shipping line, they've used an intermediary, for example, a forwarder company like Per Se. To make this example clearer for you, I'll use names so you can understand it better. Let's assume our cargo owner is the Rafsanjan Pistachio Company. Our forwarder is the Percy Company, and our shipping line is Hapag-Lloyd. We have all three of these parties here, and a shipment has actually taken place. If the Rafsanjan Pistachio Company had arranged the shipment directly with Hapag-Lloyd, then an MBL would have been issued. The actual shipper, the actual consignee, and there would be no need to issue an HBL, and they would have listed their own agent at the destination. But when a forwarder gets involved, the equations change a bit. First, an MBL is issued. In it, the forwarder company at the origin is listed as the shipper, meaning the Percy company at the origin is listed as the shipper. Who is our consignee? The forwarder's agent at the destination. For example, if our cargo is supposed to be shipped to Hamburg, the agent of the Percy company at the destination, which let's say is M&M Hamburg, becomes the consignee at the destination. So our shipper became Per Se, our consignee became M&M Hamburg. Where? On the MBL. The agent or receiving agent on the MBL, which company is that? It's Hapag-Lloyd's own agent at the destination. So based on this MBL, when the cargo arrives at the destination, M&M Hamburg goes and, with the original bill of lading, takes delivery of the cargo from Hapag-Lloyd's agent at the destination. It becomes the owner of the cargo and the forwarder's agent at the destination. On the other hand, an HBL has been issued. In this HBL, the actual shipper, Rafsanjan Pistachio, is listed. The actual consignee of Rafsanjan Pistachio at the destination, which is Hamburg, is listed. And who is the agent in this HBL? M&M Hamburg. M&M Hamburg is listed as the receiving agent at the destination in this bill of lading. The consignee of the Rafsanjan Pistachio Company in Hamburg, in order to receive its cargo, must go to M&M Hamburg with the bill of lading that the Percy Company gave it, or rather gave to Rafsanjan Pistachio, which then gave it to its own consignee. M&M Hamburg, based on the previous MBL, is now the owner of the cargo, and in fact holds the release order. It then transfers the cargo to the consignee, based on the bill of lading they hold. I hope my explanation has been clear for you. Now, if you look at this diagram, you'll see the shipper, the forwarder company at the origin, meaning Percy, the consignee, the forwarder's agent at the destination, M&M Hamburg, which is also the exact receiving agent on our house bill of lading. First, it becomes the owner of the cargo itself. Then, based on the HBL, it acts as the destination agent and releases the cargo to the actual consignee at the destination. The receiving agent on the MBL is Hapag-Lloyd's own agent, and on the HBL we have the actual shipper, the actual consignee, and the forwarder's agent at the destination. All right, thank you for your attention, everyone. I hope this tutorial has been useful for you. We've reached the end of Part B of Section 8.